True story, this started out as a side dish and ended up being the main event. We're talking buttery, smoky, Cajun spiced cabbage with fall apart ham hock, crispy bacon, and a little zing at the end to make it dance on your tongue. Oh, and it's all made in one pot because dishes are ghetto. First things first, we're starting with a smoked ham hock, and here's the deal. This isn't just meat, it is a flavor generator, but it needs time to break down. If you were to just toss it into the cabbage and expect tenderness in 30 minutes, you're gonna end up with pork bubblegum. So here's what I did. I dropped that ham hock into a Dutch oven and poured in a full 32-ounce container of low sodium chicken broth. Then I just added enough water to cover the hock completely. And yes, you could use all water if that's what you've got, but using broth is a free flavor boost. Think of it like layering. You're not just softening the meat, you're building a smoky pork broth that we'll use to cook the cabbage in later. Then I added what I call a Cajun starter pack, which is half an onion, half a green bell pepper, a celery stalk, some smashed garlic cloves, a bay leaf, some whole black peppercorns, a little fresh thyme, some smoked paprika, and a teaspoon of Cajun seasoning to start building depth. And yes, I am well aware that that little chunk that fell in was probably way more than a teaspoon. It's okay to be heavy-handed here. And then just let that simmer low and slow for about 2 hours, uncovered or partially covered, it's up to you. The goal here is tender, shreddable meat and a broth that smells like it's already a full-blown gumbo base. And yes, your house is going to smell amazing almost immediately. Once the ham hock was fall apart tender, I pulled it out and shredded what little meat it gave. Don't expect a feast here. This is more about infusing flavor than feeding a crowd. Though if you search around, you can find some pretty meaty ham hocks. Then I strained the broth to get rid of the solids and I just set that aside. And please, don't throw this broth away after this recipe is done, especially the extra. This is liquid pork gold. Freeze it. Use it to cook greens, beans, rice, grits, anything that needs depth. And finally, I just rinsed the pot so that we could build the rest of the dish in a clean base. Still one pot, we just gave it a fresh chapter. Now let's build this party. I rendered some bacon in the same pot until nice and crispy. And I placed the bacon in here before ever turning on the burner because starting with the pot nice and cool and then turning on the heat allows for the bacon to render more fat. More fat is what we need right here. Once it's crispy, just remove it with some tongs or use a slotted spoon because we really just want to leave all that glorious bacon fat behind. That's going to coat every bite of cabbage with savory, smoky richness. And to that fat, I added some chopped shallots and just let them have about a minute head start before adding in some minced up garlic. And we're just going to let those bloom until fragrant. Then we're going to hit it with some Cajun seasoning. I use this Cattleman's Grill Cajun infusion here. Great balanced flavor, but honestly, any quality Cajun blend works. Just taste it first because some are salt bombs and some are flat, and you really want to know your spice before it surprises you later. Now here's where we're going to start building our flavor layers. With the spices bloom, I'm going to add in about 2 tablespoons of bourbon, not to just get tipsy, but to deglaze the pot and add a touch of oaky sweetness to balance the smoke, but also to get tipsy. Next up is adding our cabbage, but first I want to show you something real quick, and that's how to core your cabbage. So you want to start by cutting the cabbage in half right through the stem, and you'll see this dense white triangular core at the base of each half. Using your knife, you want to cut at an angle on both sides of the core like you're cutting out a wedge, and then just pop it out and discard. It's tough and won't break down like the leaves, and then you just slice your cabbage into large shreds or chunks depending on your texture preference. After that, I start piling in my chopped cabbage just a little bit at a time, letting it wilt so the pot doesn't overflow. Then I added in about 1.5 cups of that ham hock broth, brought everything to a nice gentle simmer, added back the shredded ham hock meat, and then I seasoned with apple cider vinegar and just a pinch of sugar. That sweet tangy combo gives the cabbage that craveable balance. And just FYI, sugar is going to round out the bitterness of cooked cabbage, and vinegar is going to brighten up the entire pot. So if it tastes flat at the end, this is probably what you're missing. Cover the pot and let it simmer on medium-low for about 30 to 40 minutes, stirring occasionally. You want the cabbage tender but not mushy. So just think soft enough to soak up all the flavor but not collapsing into the soup. Once it's all cooked down, stir in that crispy bacon, drop in a couple tablespoons of unsalted butter to finish, and this butter is going to help emulsify everything and make it silky and glossy and very not suitable for work. Now here's where you slow down and taste. If you want some more tang, add a splash more vinegar. If it's too salty, add a splash of water or a squeeze of lemon. If it's missing some heat, you can add in some more Cajun hot sauce. If it's flat or bitter, sugar or bourbon can definitely round that out, and if it needs a punch, just add some more of your Cajun blend. Tasting and adjusting is everything here. This isn't baking, so you're not locked in, you're still in control of driving this bus. And just a little final touch, a generous squeeze of lemon over the top right before serving. It's that fresh high note that brings all the richness back into balance. And if you're serving guests, put that hot sauce bottle on the table and watch people show you who they really are. Oh, and FYI, you can change up all the proteins you want. If you want it more heartier, you can throw in some smoked sausage slices. For my non-pork folks, you can use smoked turkey legs or thighs in place of the ham hock and swap the bacon for turkey bacon or olive oil. Still delicious. Just don't skip that simmer. Definitely don't skip that acid. Don't skip the broth, and please, don't drain your cabbage. You want that juice in a bowl. It's not water, it's a ton of flavor. Serve this with cornbread, rice, or really nothing at all. Just a big spoon and a moment of silence for how good this came out. And if this episode gave your soul a hug, hit that like button, sub to the channel, and toss $1 to the Patreon if you're feeling generous. All the links are below. So until next time, keep those poor choices flavorful, and I'll see you then. Peace.